What can we do about food shortages that are coming? Hey everybody, this is Asymmetrical Preparedness. This is one of the things you can do. I'm going to talk about this, a little bit different things, but as I'm doing it, I'm just going to walk around the garden so you guys can see producing your own food is vitally important. We've heard about this grain deal, we've heard about a lot of different things. We know about the global conflict coming, we know about the local conflicts that are going on now. We know that there is a cycle coming up where somebody chooses our next leaders. I don't think we do, but anyway, that's a different topic for a different day. We know that there's a lot of upheaval, a lot of worry, not the right word, a lot of stuff going on in the world today that makes the world a very iffy place. We don't know when true shortages will come. I think they will. I think they will fairly soon. But this is one of the things that you can do to avoid, to mitigate the effects of food shortages. You can grow your own food, which I've been advocating for a long time. I hope you guys are doing it. But if you're not, you can still start. It's August, yes. There's a lot of stuff you can plant and still grow and get a harvest in, even in August. There's also fall crops. There's also winter crops. Growing your own food is vital, yes. But what are some other things we can do? Since I'm not just going to talk about gardening, because not that many people really want to hear about gardening. Food storage, obviously. That's an obvious one. We're preppers. We know all about food storage, right? Everybody knows everything there is to know. Well, not true. What is one aspect that I really like about the idea of gardening? Take a walk with me over here and I'll show you. While I'm showing you, I'll talk to you. Yeah, my garden, I didn't really take it that seriously this year. See all my bins here that I usually grow potatoes in? Yeah, they're all empty. I don't know. I kind of had to take a step back this year. Do have some raspberries over here, some blueberries right there. And of course, you know, blackberries everywhere you look here. So that's good. But if you don't have space to garden, what can you do? You can guerrilla garden in other areas on properties maybe you don't own. Hopefully it's like public property, stuff like that. That's what this is here. This is kind of like my guerrilla garden. You see these things here growing here alongside the road? Those are Jerusalem artichokes. I've talked about them in the past. If you haven't seen those videos, then just look up any of my videos where I talk about gardening or growing your own food, or just type in Jerusalem artichoke. I think I might have done one on that. Maybe I'll try to link in the description below, but this is just an area, the side of my property, on the side of our private drive, where I threw a bunch of Jerusalem artichokes in the ground, and I do water them. I just got done watering them, actually. That's why you can tell the ground here is kind of wet. And there's also, in this area here, there's also potatoes that this year, they already grew up, and then the plants died off. But I just leave it all in the ground. I just leave all this stuff in the ground. I don't harvest it, because it will multiply year after year and keep on going. So you can look for, you know, forested areas, green belts, different areas around you where you can throw some seeds in the ground. Now it's best, of course, where you do it in an area where, you know, you can water them every once in a while, or set them up along, plant along streams or different things like that, where they have a water source along ponds, rivers, lakes, those kind of things. But if you don't do that, or don't do gardening, then you're reliant upon your food storage. And food storage only lasts so long, right? And you can see All the blackberries. Yeah, blackberries are going crazy. Tomatoes. Food storage. Store it in different locations. People have talked a lot about, the government coming and taking your food, which if we do go into a global conflict, which the timing seems about right because of that upcoming, leader selection process. Yeah, that, if we get a good timing for them to get into a global conflict, would be prior to that. Because then they could enact the War Powers Act and they could suspend elections, suspend the Second Amendment, suspend the entire Constitution, and just do whatever they want. But, with that said, I was talking about food storage only lasting so long. And that is true. Store a lot of food. Store a lot of water. I have a feeling that a lot of preppers don't store enough water. This bed here looks a little empty because peas already harvested up and I planted more. And they're going to start coming in pretty soon. This world is questionable today. I have a feeling that things will probably go pretty south in short order. But I don't worry because prepping is living insurance. Can I die? Sure, of course I can. A lot of very prepared preppers will still die, even with tribe and even with all the tactical skills, knowledge, tools, equipment, all that stuff. Yeah, you notice this bed, potatoes, they died. I need to harvest those and plant another crop so I can get a second crop out of them. So back to food storage. I was getting into the fact, I think I started to say it but forgot to finish, of storing it in different locations. That's where I was getting at with that. The government coming to get your stuff. Well, yeah, if it's on your primary property, well, they'll find it and they'll confiscate it. Which, that would take a serious dent out of any of our preps. That would hit me hard. But with them spread out, with caches, with tribe, even though, their properties may get raided also, you stand a much better chance of having at least some food available. But another aspect we talk about, I think other prepping channels talk about it fairly often, is a skill-based idea that you have to practice and you have to do. And I really don't think that many preppers actually do. Which is other ways of attaining food. Everybody jumps to hunting. Yeah, well, game will be gone real quick in a really bad situation. So, whereas you can add that into your repertoire, to your toolbox, it's not something that will be around for an extended period of time. So there's also foraging, wild edibles, wild medicinals, trapping and snaring also of small game. Very important. These things combined with your ability to grow food, and I hope you're collecting lots of seeds. Collect the seeds from what you grow. Start with good seeds though, heirloom, organic, non-GMO seeds, and then collect the seeds so that even if you're displaced from your primary property or you have to relocate and gather as a tribe, you can start anew. Also with that, all these skills that I mentioned, the trapping, snaring, hunting, there's also fishing. Let me see if I can get a little bumblebee footage here. Bees are awesome. I love bees. They are so vital to life. Practice these skills. Don't just think about them. Don't just have the stuff to do them. If you don't practice, you won't be able to know how to use them when needed. Whereas when they're needed, you might be able to learn, but it would be much more difficult, right? And we want to make things as easy as possible because everything will be more difficult anyway after the balloon goes up. So these are things I'd like you guys to take action on. Now, practice hunting, fishing, trapping, snaring, and foraging. But also gardening. And still stack your food. Still stack your water. Along with that, identify sources of water. Streams, rivers, lakes, ponds, swimming pools, municipal water supplies, all these different things. Also think outside the box. There's probably going to be other sources of water that you may not have thought about. Every office building has a water cooler, right? Well, do you think people, when they've been in their office building when the balloon goes up, are going to take the water? Maybe. Maybe not. That could be a source of water. So, let's wrap it up by saying, please do these things. Please prepare yourselves. Please take care of your families. Love them. Cherish them. Have a wonderful day. And blessings to you and yours.